Here's the true recipe for making your results inevitable. Stop hoping your results will happen. Stop wondering if this time will work. Stop tying your confidence to what the scale says on Wednesday morning. Here's the truth, guys. Your weight loss results, your gut health, your cognitive health, your prostate health, your nerve and joint restoration, none of this is based on luck. Your transformation is not based on motivation. It becomes inevitable when your actions become consistent. Not perfect, not extreme. Consistent. So today, we learn to stop chasing outcomes and start building results that cannot help but show up. Coach Del here, Dr. Del Millers. Welcome to another episode of Mindset and Motivation, my Monday motivation message here. And I hope you're having a wonderful time out there. Just remember that my new book, Mindset and Motivation, is available. And while I'm having some challenges with having it on Amazon, it is available at barnesandnoble.com. So just go to barnesandnoble.com. You can order it and have it shipped to you just the same way. Okay, just another avenue. The ebook is available, not the ebook, the audiobook is available from audible.com, audible.com. So, hey, lots of mindset tools for you in both the paperback and the audiobook. So, welcome. I'm glad you're here. You see, this week we're talking about something that changes everything. How to make your results, your weight loss and your health results, inevitable. Yes, inevitable. Not possible, not hopeful, not if things go well, but inevitable. Because when you understand how the body works and how identity works, you stop panicking and start executing. And that is really what you do. You see, your results are a byproduct. They're a byproduct. You're focusing on them as if they're the goal. No, your results are a byproduct of what you do. And most people are focused on the wrong target. You focus on the scale, the speed, the timeline, the comparison, but results are a byproduct. The real target is mindset, behavior, action. That is the real target. If the behaviors are right and repeated, the outcome must follow. Guys, I want you to understand this. If the behaviors are right, if you're taking the right action day after day, consistently, the outcome will follow. You don't chase results. You install the habits that produce them, and you practice those habits consistently. And you see, when your habits are aligned long enough, your results become predictable. I've been doing this long enough, guys. I've been an athlete all my life. I've been changing my body all my life. I have lost weight. I have gained weight. I have built muscle. I have toned down. I have done everything to this body. And results are predictable. You just understand that if you follow the right process, the right path, consistently enough over time, your results become predictable. That is the process. How do you think I'm able to put on 30 pounds and then drop most of that weight and get in the best shape before hitting a stage over a predictable period of time? Why? Because your results are predictable. You don't focus on the results. You focus on the process. You see, your body responds to patterns. Your body doesn't respond to bursts of motivation. It responds to patterns. It responds to repeated meals that stabilize energy, consistent strength training, daily movement, predictable sleep, reduced stress. When the body senses chaos, we've been talking about this, it protects, it goes in protection mode. When the body senses safety, it adapts. That physiological adaptation is what you're looking for. You got to get out of protection mode to get into physiological adaptation before your body can start to adapt. The stress, the chaos has to calm down. You must create consistent blood sugar. There must be energy stability. Your body has to have all that, otherwise it goes in protection mode. So you see, fat loss is not forced. It is allowed to happen. It is allowed to happen because now your nervous system is calmed down. Now your body is utilizing the right nervous system. Instead of when there's chaos, your body's functioning through your sympathetic nervous system. When things are calm, your body switches to the parasympathetic nervous system. That regulates adaptation and growth. That is where you build. Anything else, your body's protecting. You see, consistency is what creates that safety. So here really is the 5 pillars of inevitable results. Here's how you create inevitable results, right? This makes it simple and practical. And if these 5 pillars are executed consistently, your results is just a matter of time. Your results are inevitable. The number 1 is stabilized blood sugar. If blood sugar is chaotic, your cravings increase, hormones fluctuate, fat storage signals rise, energy crashes. That's what happens when your blood sugar is irregular, right? When you're not eating balanced meals consistently over the course of the day, that is what happens. So your non-negotiables are protein at every meal, fiber daily, lots of fibrous plant-based foods. Eat consistently over the day. Stop extreme restriction cycles. These things are not optional. These are the things that create stable blood sugar, and a stable body is a responsive body. That is the first pillar that must happen before your results become predictable. The second pillar is you got to reduce chronic stress. Chronic stress puts your body in, the wrong nervous system, because you cannot out-train or out-diet a stressed nervous system, because your brain controls what your nervous system does. And we talked about high stress raises cortisol, increases belly fat storage, disrupts your sleep, drives your cravings. This week, you need to protect all that. You need to focus on 5 to 10 minutes of decompression daily, of mindfulness practice. You need to go get a walk outside. I don't care how bad the weather is. You're still outdoors. You need to set boundaries. You need an earlier bedtime. I still see a lot of you going to bed 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I still hear a lot of you going to bed at midnight. You're doing that. Well, you have no right to expect results, really. Because you're not doing what it takes to move forward. You're not doing what it takes for your body to adapt. So don't expect results when you don't have consistency with these basic pillars. That's important. Number 3, you got to build lean muscle. It's not optional, right? It's non-negotiable. Muscle is not about aesthetics. It raises your metabolism. It improves insulin sensitivity. That is what we've been working on. Our entire nutrition strategy is based on improving insulin sensitivity. It protects your joints. It supports your hormone regulation. Strength training is not optional if, long-term results is what you're after. Strength training, building muscle is your metabolic insurance policy. It is not optional. It is part of the process. Pillar number 4, you got to protect sleep like it's medicine, because guess what? It is. Sleep deprivation increases hunger hormones, your cravings, drive inflammation. Your recovery time just suffers. So 7 to 8 hours becomes a fat loss accelerator. You're not doing that. Well, guess what? Like I said, you have no right to expect results because you're not doing what allows your body to adapt. Unless you're doing these things, your body is still in safety mode. You want your body to move from safety mode to adaptation, physiological adaptation. It doesn't have the potential to do that when it's working with the wrong nervous system. Now, you need to understand that. These are the things that regulate your body's various systems. Pillar number 5, you got to always choose identity over emotion. This is the real separator. Emotion says, I don't feel like it. Identity says, this is what I do now. It doesn't matter how I feel. I don't do things based on how I feel. I do things based on where I'm going, based on who I am. This is who I am. This is what I do. You see, identity doesn't panic after one off meal, after one deviation, unplanned deviation. Identity doesn't quit midweek. Identity doesn't restart every Monday. Identity adjusts and continues. That is inevitability. That is what builds your inevitable results. Your inevitable results. That is how you make your results inevitable. You see, most people self-sabotage, not because it's a character flaw. No, it's usually unrealistic timeline and unsustainable plan, too much pressure. That all or nothing thinking, that is what leads to self-sabotage. You see, when the plan is realistic, when the habits are repeatable, when the timeline is long, 2026, the year of your transformation. I ask you to make this the year of your transformation, not a couple weeks of what the scale says, not a month of losing 30 pounds, the year of your transformation. You see the difference there? When you take that long-term view, you've got time. There's no panic. There's no rush. You've got time to adapt. You've got time to bend, not break, during the storms of your life. This is where self-sabotage fades because the process no longer feels threatening. The inevitable formula, guys. Clarity. Structure, repetition, patience equals predictable results. Structure, repetition, plus patience equals predictable results. No magic, no hacks, no extreme. You have the right structure. That's your process. You have a shopping day. You plan your meals at least a day ahead. Plan your tomorrow today. That's your process. Your process is what leads to consistency. Without the right process, you will not be consistent. Without consistency, you will not achieve results. Structure, repetition, patience equals predictable results. No magic, no hacks, no extremes. If you execute aligned inputs long enough, the outcome cannot avoid you. The outcome will be inevitable. So this week's execution, we're not looking for perfection. I want you to focus on protein at every meal. That's the February challenge. Even at breakfast, that avocado toast, well, that's not a meal. You need some protein there. All right? 2 to 4 strength training this week. Strength training is what builds muscle. It is not optional. It is non-negotiable. It is one of the 5 pillars. Daily movement. It doesn't matter if it's crazy outside. You don't need to go outside to get daily movement. I've given you've got all kinds of walking videos, power walking videos you can do indoors, workouts you can do indoors. You don't need to go outdoors just to get your daily movement. You can easily get 5K steps moving around inside. 7+ hours of sleep. That is non-negotiable. You're not doing that. Again, you're not moving forward. Your body's in protection mode. 1 daily stress-lowering practice. These are the things that are not optional. These are non-negotiable. Protein at every meal, strength training each week, daily movement, 7+ hours of sleep, 1 daily stress-lowering practice. You tell yourself you can't do these things, then forget about results until you can consistently do these things. These are non-negotiables, and anything less than this is keeping your body in protection mode. You are not moving forward. So I want you to think about these things. Are you doing these things consistently? Protein at every meal, lots of fiber throughout your day, 2 to 4 strength training sessions a week, daily movement every day. I ask you to get up and stand up every hour of the day, move around for 5 to 10 minutes. Work on getting at least 5K steps a day if you've got 2 good feet. 7+ hours of sleep. I don't care how you do it. That is what's necessary. Daily stress-lowering practice. These are the foundations of creating safety for your body. Your body cannot adapt until it feels safe. Right? If you did this for 6 months, who would you become? I want you to ask yourself that. Over the next 6 months, you did all these things daily for 6 months. Who would you become? Not in 6 days, but in 6 months. That's how long game thinkers win, right? This is the long game. Last week, I asked you to play the long game because that's what's going to take you where you need to be. That's what's going to take you where you're going. Focusing on the long game, not what the scale says this week or in 2 weeks, or the fact that, I haven't lost any weight. It's been a month. I haven't lost any weight. You focus on your process. How can you improve your process that leads to better consistency? That leads to the results you're looking for over the long term. So the midweek and Wednesday, I want you to ask yourself, did I execute the basics most of the time? Not did I lose weight yet? And when you measure execution, you see, you stay empowered. When you measure outcome too early, you feel discouraged, and that leads to self-sabotage. So you want to stay focused on the inputs, focus on what you're doing, on the mindset, creating the mindset shift, being consistent, having a process, following that process consistently day after day. Those 5 pillars, they are non-negotiable to your weight loss progress, to your gut health, to your cognitive health, to your nerve health, and to your prostate health. Whatever it is you're trying to do, right? This is the foundation of how you move forward. So I want you to think about this, right? You don't need to do more. You need to repeat what works. You don't need motivation. You need consistency. You don't need a new plan every 2 weeks just because the scale isn't moving. You need patience with the right plan. We've given you a plan. I've created a plan for every single one of my clients. You know what it takes. I have repeatedly told you what it takes to get the results you're looking for. Having a process that you repeat consistently over time will make your results inevitable. You need patience. Patience with the right plan. So I want you to think about this and say this with me. I don't rush the process. I reinforce it. I stay consistent and my results are inevitable. I don't rush the process. I reinforce it. I stay consistent and my results are inevitable because they are. If you stay in the game long enough, you will win. The only way you don't win is to give up. You bend, you don't break. When life gets rough, you bend and you come back. You got to learn to be flexible. We're not looking for perfection. You will have off days. That's okay. You pick up and you recommit and you start working on that consistency. We're not looking for perfection. 8 out of 10 is good enough to get you where you're going. That's consistency. You failing is part of the process. You failing is part of the process. You just don't let failure stop you. You let it teach you. You let your failures teach you, not stop you. Because you are going to fail. And you need to learn to embrace that. Embrace failure as your teacher. When you fail, you learn. Ask yourself, what did this teach me? Right? I told you, learn to use the difficulty. Whatever difficulties show up in your life, learn to use the difficulty and learn something from it. Allow it to propel you forward instead of stopping you. All the obstacles that show up for you, allow them to propel you forward instead of stopping you. Because your obstacles are your teacher. There is no growth without challenge. The bigger the challenge, the bigger the growth. That is what you're after. You're after a year of transformation? Well, guess what? You got to grow. You got to learn some new things. You got to become a very different person than you are now. If this is going to be your year of transformation, you got to get better than you are. You got to get healthier, fitter, stronger, better in every way, including the technology you're using. You see? You got to get healthier, fitter, stronger, better in every way. That is how you create transformation. You don't create transformation by holding on to your limitations, by being where you are, by telling yourself, oh, I can't do this. No, you learn. You have a coach, you have a guide. You learn. You move forward. You break through your limitations. That is how you transform. That is how you make your results inevitable this year. That is how this year becomes the year of your transformation. You transform in body, mind, and soul, period. This is not a weight loss journey. This is not a gut health journey. This is not about you building healthier testosterone, gentlemen. This is not just about your prostate health. This is about who are you becoming? Who are you becoming? Who is that person who can sustain big results? Who is that person who can make his or her results inevitable? I have given you the recipe. Now go bake the cake. This is how you make your results inevitable this year. I want you to listen to this message over and over again, because this is the recipe for making your results inevitable this year. It's not about quick fix. It's not about watching the scale. It's about having a process that you follow consistently. That is what's going to take you where you're going. That is what's going to get you there. Structure plus repetition plus patience equals predictable results. That structure is your process. I've been telling you that in order to be consistent, you need a process. Because if you don't have a process, guess what? Yes, you'll do well when times are good, but when the chaos hits, when you are stressed out and life is pulling you in all different directions, in the winters of your life, you will fall apart and your consistency will suffer, and there goes results. Your structure, your process, plus repetition, plus patience equals predictable results. You don't tell your body when to change. You help to create the conditions necessary for your body to change. That is all we get to do. And you do that with those 5 pillars. Choose identity over emotion. Protect your sleep like it's medicine, because it is. Build lean muscle. This is not optional. This affects every process in your body, your metabolism, your hormones, your structure, your joints, your nerve. Reduce chronic stress. It puts your body regulating with the right nervous system. Stabilize blood sugar every day. Again, this is one of the most important gateways into how your body is functioning. I'm Dr. Dell. I hope this has been helpful.